Welcome everyone. Today I gonna discuss about one of the important aspects of climate change. Climate change is the changes in average temperatures and cycle of weather over a long period of time. Since 1880s, scientists have kept thermometer based record of the global surface temperature. What is happening to the global temperature? The planet is becoming warmer, the climate is changing. Why is climate change a problem? Over millions of years, species become adapted to survive in the conditions in which they live. A stable climate support this process and allow living things to thrive. If the climate changes quickly, organizations do not have enough time to adapt to new conditions and may no longer be able to survive. Climate change disrupt weather pattern and cause extreme weather events to become more common. Thus includes hurricane activity, drought and floods. As the global temperature has increased, so has the number of replied natural disasters. Why is climate change a problem? Rising temperature are cause sea level to increase. The rising water can cover coastal area, destroying habits and displacing whole populations from low-lying areas. Rising sea level are driving by the two main processes: ice melt. When the atmosphere and ocean get warmer, ice sheets and galactic smells, resulting in the additions of fresh water to the oceans. Thermal expansion: as ocean's water gets warmer, it expands, cause sea level to rise. Why is climate change a problem? The increase in global temperature is cause a reductions in sea level, sea ice. The causes problem for animals that depends on the ice to hunt, melt, and sleep. Why is climate change a problem? The bright surface of the ice reflections 80% of the sunlight. That heat is back into space. This keeps the polar regions cool and moderates the global climate. When the area of sea ice is reduced, less sunlight is reflected back into space. This causes more ocean warming and reduce the sea ice even further. This feedback drive faster climate change. Um, the orange line of the picture marked the average minimum sea ice coverage from 1981 to 2010. The white side shows the minimum sea ice coverage in 2020. The difference between the two exceed on million mile. Why climate change a problem? No matter how fast we act, the global temperature is set to continue rising, a result of greenhouse gases that are already in the atmosphere. The problem that we already experiencing are going to worsen. Acting quickly to keep the temperature rise to minimum is extremely important for human and wildfire. How much different do you think a zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius increase in global temperature can make? Why is climate change a problem? Coral bleaching, species loss, drought, rise in sea level. What cause climate change? Carbon dioxide, methanes, and water vapors are greenhouse gases that are found in the atmosphere. Energy travel from the sun to the earth is shortwave radiations. It does not interact strongly with the greenhouse gas molecules, so it reach the earth's surface. What causes climate change? The Earth's surface emits long wavelength radiations. This does interact with the greenhouse gas molecule. The greenhouse gas molecule absorbs some of the energy trapped in the atmosphere. This process keeps the Earth warm and essential for life. What causes climate change? The higher the proportions of the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more radiation is absorbed. This causes a rise in the temperatures of the Earth and is known as the greenhouse effect. The increase in temperature drives climate change. What causes climate change? Climate change can be caused gradually by natural process or suddenly by large events such as a massive meteoritic streak or volcanic activity. However, the rapid climate change we are experiencing now is due to three main human activities: burning fossil fuel for heat and cooking, generic electricity, and powering vehicles, releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Deforestations, releasing carbon dioxide and reduce the number of trees about the capture carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Reductions of biodiversity creates an unstable ecosystem, natural lose level to ecosystem that are less able to capture carbon from the atmosphere and less resilient in the rising temperature. Who cause climate change? The 50 less developed countries are thought to have contributed 1% of the greenhouse gases that have caused global warming. The USA, the EU, and China above have contributed around 60%. Who does climate change affect? In the long run, everyone will feel the effect climate change. However, some people are currently more affected than others. In most cases, the wealth of prosperous countries has come from activities which contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. These wealth allow these countries to protect themselves from the effect of climate change. Poor countries are less able to adapt to climate change and therefore suffer the most from its effect. Why are also less able to develop because they need to focus on addressing the challenges caused by climate change. The contribute who have contributed the less to the climate crisis are the ones who are affected the most. Social justice. Justice is the concept of fairness. Social justice relates to the fairness with the social. The idea of social justice is the people should have equal access to the wealth, health, opportunities, and privilege within a society. All humans should have the right to a certain standard of living, including a healthy diet, access to a clean water, shelter, clothing, education, and healthcare. The people most likely to be left behind by developed area, those are face inequality. Those are the most affected have erecting inequalities. This means that they have faced exclusions or discrimination because they fall into multi-disadvantaged group. For example, black women, disabled LGBTQ plus people, or poor children. Climate justice. The impact of the climate change affected disadvantage of the group of people the most. The effect of climate change on this group need to be recognized and addressed. Climate justice means looking at the climate crisis from the perspective of the social justice. Solution need to not only curb climate changes, they need to protect and empower the most vulnerable group of people too. We have the responsibility to consider the most vulnerable when planning climate action. Remember, this group of people contribute to the climate change the least. This means putting the people of communities that are most vulnerable to the impact of climate change at the heart of development. Climate solution will not work if we do not address social justice issues. For example, if we do not address poverty, then unsustainable lifestyle will continue to damage ecosystem and we will fail to curb climate change. Who can fix it? Governments can make law and politics that reduce the amount of greenhouse gas emissions. Business can change their process to run more sustainability. We can all make choice in our own lives that reduce our carbon footprint. We can also use our voices to let business and the government know that we want them to act quickly to reduce their impact on climate change. New opportunity. The transitions to a low carbon economy is the year achieve bring it many opportunity. Innovation is the process of turning an idea into a solution that solve a problem. Transition to low carbon economy will provide lots of opportunity for innovation. There will be a need for people leaving education to do things directly, to to come up with the new ideas for product and technology and explore new conversation method. These opportunities are exciting. New job sector will be created and the new skill will be evaluated in the job market. In the future, you may be applying for jobs that do not even exist yet. COP26, 197 countries have signed up to the United Nations Framework Conventions of the Climate Change. The UNFCCC aims to prevent human activity from cause dangerous level of the climate change. Every time the member national meets, it's called a COP, which stands for Conference of the Parties. They look at the current state of the climate and discuss the actions they will take to address climate change. The November will see the 26th of this meeting taking place, so you can hear the event being described as a COP26 as well as the UN Climate Change Conference. It will be hosted by the UK Glasgow. What happens through this climate change? The Paris Agreement instructs governments to renew their commitments to the lower their emissions every 5 years, each time becoming more ambitious. New nationally, determine contributes are due to be set by countries at COP26. So it is an important moment for the planet. Global carbon dioxide emissions continue to rise after the Paris Agreement and are now 62% right at then there is 1990s. This is the 17th sustainable. In the same year, the Paris Agreement was signed. 17 Sustainable Development Goals were adopted by all United Nations member states. The 17 goals set out of the things that need to be achieved to protect the plan and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. Some of the goals are to with the state of our planet. However, one of the most important thing about sustainable development goal is the fact that they all are connected. All the goals need to released together for our achieves in a future in which every person born anywhere in the world has a healthy life. Speak up. We can make sure that world leaders know we are continue on them. MP in the person in the present your community needs and review in parliament. You can write to them and tell them about the actions you want the government to take. We can also reach out to the business and our local council if we feel like they need to do things different to act. As a school community, we can help in the fight against climate change and biodiversity laws of the improving the sustainability of all the aspect of our school life. The changes that we can make the school are seen by the lots of people in our local community. This means that we can influence positive changes of spread through society. So these are the way we can improve the climate change. Thank you. If you have any question, you directly can communicate with us.